I'm Leslie McIntosh, and I'm here to talk about the fact that we've opened science in an age of rapid technological advancement, and we haven't thought about or really codified how we trust or mistrust science, and we need to work on that. We have a polluted information river. People think about opening science, think about an open river. Would you go and drink water from it? Would you want to filter it first? We need to be thinking about what are the filters that we have for this polluted information river. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of people that work in this. I'll tell you what I'm working in, and my colleague Simon Porter is, one thing is looking at networks, right? And authorship for sale. If you don't know what authorship for sale is, happy to talk about it afterwards, or you can read our very, very dense paper. But let me give you some context of how we look at authorship. And this, just to orient you, is a researcher with 30 years of experience and took a sample of 40 years of their publication and looking at the journals that these publications are in and cite. This is a pretty normal network. Researcher 2, a little bit less experience, peak of the career, also during 2020, so it looks a little bit different, but honestly not that normal. And then we see this researcher who had 7 years of experience, was a postdoc, 2 years of publications. This is a mess. Who in the world can actually engage with this many journals in a 2-year period to get publications? He in fact did admit to plagiarizing about 70% of his papers. These people leave a collaboration fingerprint. We can see these citation cartels, authorship networks of nefarious work that goes in science. But these aren't just individuals that are working on this for promotional purposes. I don't know what just happened. Okay, here we go. These are people, organizations, and countries that are also manipulating science. My colleague Cynthia Hudson-Vitale and I worked on safeguarding the scientific integrity. This is conflicts of interest, editors, editors, peer reviewers, and authors being connected through organizations. This one hit the US on the case of mifepristone, which those of you who may be familiar with is a abortifacient drug that is used. This is the network of the people that were cited that in a case that ended up going to the Supreme Court. We can look at the networks to see who were the organizations that should have been cited, who are doing the more rigorous work in that field, and seeing that we have visual evidence of disinformation and how it is used in policy. And science is and will continue to be weaponized for individual sakes, for political sakes, and whatnot. But there is hope. But hope without action is just vaporware, and we need to have some action. So what are we doing? Well, let's think about art authentication. Art authentication looks at the provenance of the artwork, the properties, and the professionals. It goes to expertise. This is a fake, or it's a Goya. He said it was a Goya that was attributed to somebody else. We use this for scholarship authentication. We look at the provenance first, and then the properties of science, and also the professionals, the experts. But we need professionals in this field who are able to look at the scholarship, not just the individuals working on it. Because individual cleanup will still keep a mess, because we cannot, as individuals, keep up with the pace of the scams that are going on within science. We need to have coordinated cleanup and monitoring, and I'm very, very happy to say that we have that, a new initiative, a new field of forensic scientometrics. There are some in this audience who are in this field. We are coming together to work on this, because if we do not control the narrative of what science is, how science works, and how to trust or mistrust science, someone else will. And we should control that narrative. Thank you very much.